Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'll be teaching you about string methods. Remember in the last video, I taught about operators, and operators basically works with numbers and float types. So what are floats? By the way, floats are numbers that have decimals like 0.5, 5.8, 6.3, and all of the rest. So those are float types, and operators basically are for numbers and float types, right? But in this video, I'll be teaching you about string methods and basic string methods. So what are string methods? They are things that you can do with a string. Remember I told you what a string is? A string is when you represent a data in a textual format or alphabetic, or even with characters, You can have a combination of, that's a string, and usually inside a quotes or double quote, right? So if we want to declare a string, we have, in the other video I said we have two ways of declaring a string, but we actually have more. And looking at this, say let's take for example, let first name equal to John. So this is the first way of declaring a string using double quotes. You can say let last name equal to, though I'm using a single quote now, right? And then last way, we can say let middle name equal. Now we can use template literal, that's backtick here. So this, let's say Smith, right? Good. So let's see how we can, console all this together. You can say console first name, right, first name, and you see this John, so we can do the same thing here, last name, and here middle name. Save everything. We have John Doe Smith. But let's look at the first string method that we can explore, and that's the concatenation. You can do some concatenation here. Concatenation, right? So concatenation is when you try to bind two string variables together. So it could be two words and you want to make it a sentence. It could be two sentences and you want to make it a compound sentence. It could even be two characters and you want to make it multiple characters. Just anyway. So here I want to bind all these names to give me just one single name. I can come here and say console.log. Here I'll say first name, right? Now I can do a plus last name, just like addition operator in mathematics, right? Plus middle name. And then when I do this, save your work, you see this John Doe Smith. But here, if you notice, there's no space between each of them. So to add a space, you can do something like this, or you can even create a space variable. You can say let space equal to so I have a space here, save it. So you can do this plus space plus, plus space plus, and you save your work. You see we have John Doe Smith, right? So if you don't want to use a space as a variable, you can also do this, right? And do this manually. It still works both ways, right? So this is it. Okay, it still works. Now there are other ways you can do your concatenation without doing it manually like this, right? So we can use ES6. It's actually a modern method. So to do that, say console.log. You can say so use this $sign and bring in this, and then say first of all you have to put in a backtick. Yeah, sorry about that. Then you bring a $sign, bring in this. So this $sign and curly braces when you want to bring in a variable. Yeah, you want to bring in a variable, so you can write a variable inside a backtick. It only works when using backtick. It does not work when you're trying to use double quotes or single quotes, right? So you can't write variable inside a single quote or double quote. It can only work when you want to use it inside a backtick. So that's why I recommend using backtick, right? Especially when you want to do some concatenation and all of that. So here I'm going to say first name, space. Just by adding space, it solves the problem. Say last name, come here, space, right? Middle name, and that's all. save your work, and you see we have the same thing here. So the next thing we want to talk about is the string length. You can also check the string length. Let's take, for example, this first name. How can we know the length of the first name? For example, you have a string that is a whole paragraph, and you want to count it. You can't just count it manually, and even if after counting it manually, you can still make mistakes. So in order to calculate the string length, you can use this property called let's say console. Let's just print it out. Console.log first name. So I'll say first name dot length. So dot length, I save it, and you see it is 4, right? So, and also let's say I want to probably what's called, I want to get the first character of this first name, right? I want to get the first character. Console.log console. I can say first name. Now do this, right? 0. So so this is saying get the first character. So normally in programming language, most programming languages, right, the 0 is usually used to start the first item, not 1. Conventionally we use 1, but most times in programming languages you use 0. So that's why. So you do 0, and you see that when we try to save this, you come here, you see J, and when I try to use it 1, you see that it's O. Save it, and you see O here. Okay, and you can also do instead of using this, you can do console.log. You can say first name dot character at. You can do character at 2, and it's going to give us a third character, which is H. We come here and we see that we have H here. All right. Another string method you can do, you can, lowercase and uppercase. You can convert all these to uppercase, right? Now these things may not make sense until when you're handling very large data sets. Imagine you have a paragraph and you ask to convert the what's it called, the 500 character into maybe, or to check which one is the character that is the 500, 500 position. Instead of you now counting manually, you just do this and you get it, all of that. So here I say console.log log, right? So I'm going to do first name dot uppercase. So uppercase. Remember to put this brackets to show that it's a method inbuilt. So we do this uppercase, we see that we have John here. I can also do console.log last name to lowercase, and then do this, and I'll say everything would be though, like everything is lowercase. And then I want to check if my first name starts with a J. You can do console.log first name dot starts with J. So it's going to tell me true because my first name starts with a J. So you see true. If I change it to a lowercase j, it's going to tell me false because it is case sensitive. Small character j and the uppercase j, they don't mean the same thing in JavaScript, okay? So here, even most programming languages, so here we start j, right? And you can also say ends j. So I can also come here and say ends with j. So it's going to tell me false here. But when I change it to n, it's going to tell me true, right? It's going to tell me true. So I can also check if a particular character includes something. I can say console.log first name. I want to see if first name includes the character z, so I'm going to do z. Of course, it's going to be false, right? Because there's no z there, false. But when I change it to o, it's going to tell me true, right? So we see true here. I also want to check if my character, the index of a particular, letter. So I say .log, right? First name dot index of let's say index of h. So it's going to give me, make sure to put it in double quotes. Put it in a double quote and then save your work, and you see it's given 2. It's going to give us 2 because remember I said I start from 0, 1, 2. So h is the second character, actually third character, but you know, in programming numbering system it starts from 0. And then we have this, and then another one we need to consider is we also have you know, the replace method. So the replace method can actually change you know, can replace a particular string with another string. So let's say I have this sentence, I can say let's sentence. I can just call it sentence and say sentence, say I love yams. I want to change it to I love plantains, so I can come here and say console.log sentence dot replace. What do I want to replace? So it takes 2 parameters. What do I want to replace? I want to replace the yams, so I'm going to say yams. And what do I want to replace it with? I'm going to put plantain here, plantain. So when I save it, say I'm going to say I love plantains, right? Okay, so that's how that works. And lastly, the last one we're going to do is to trim when you want to remove the white space in a character. So here, so watch this, I'm going to also create another sentence. So I'll just copy this one here, call this one sentence, or I'll say this white space. So I can just put, you know, some space here in the beginning and the end, and then come here, save it, and come here, I love plantains, and then right, I need to print it, console.log save sentence with white space, save, and then you see I love, you'll see that this I is not actually starting from the edge, it's because of this white space. So to trim it, I'll just do console.log, right, I'll do sentence white space dot trim, right, add this, and you see that the second one I'm printing will start from the edge. Do you see that? So that's it. Thank you very much. I hope you understood everything. Please, if you have any question or concerns or even doubts, please make sure you reach out on the comment section and I will respond. Thank you very much and have a blessed day. See you in the next video. Bye.